Hey everyone, it's Brian coming to you with some more Bomber Beta, and this is the part 2 of my pulley injury series. Like I said in my last video, I'm coming out of a A4 in my middle finger pulley injury, and it's been a tough road. Following on from the last video, which we talked about that initial inflammation and how to deal with that first part. Now we're looking at what to do for functional therapy to try to get that range of motion back and to start to get some blood flow going to this thing. So depending on the grade of injury that you had, you'll take between maybe a day or two to up to 2 weeks or more. Again, in this video, we're not talking about when you have bowstringing, because at that point you're going to be given instructions by the orthopedic surgeon. So anything less than bowstringing, you're looking at basically under 2 weeks of immobilization. For me, it was a day or two. And then immediately I started trying to do this functional therapy. And for that, we use a lot of different tools. This thing is really good. It's this like little roller device, and you put it on your finger and you roll it, and you can kind of control the pressure with your other hand. So that's a good thing. You can kind of work in, you can go all the way down to where your A1 would be actually, which is really nice to get that and try to loosen it up and all that. Another thing that's really easy to fit in your pocket is this little acupuncture ring. So that's nice, and you can, leave it there. You actually see my fingers start to turn a little white, and then as you rub it, you release it, and it kind of gets this flush of blood through it, and it can actually start to make it so you can feel like, oh, okay, I can move this finger now. Because when you start, like, you're probably not going to be able to close it. You're going to be like, like that, and you're going to be trying to get it closed, and you don't want to force it, but as you do that more, you're going to break up some of that scar tissue, and it's going to feel a lot better. Another simple thing you can do, if you have a desk job, you should have one of these around, pen or pencil, and do these pen rolls. So it's a little awkward. I'm trying to get this on camera. So just basically grab that pen and roll it through the fingers, and that's getting that full mobility there. Doing tendon glides, where you come down the first joint, the big joint, and the full close. And there's other videos that go over these in detail. I'll try and link some of them below. Grassroots Self-Treatment talks about this, and they're one of the best ones out there, so I don't need to go over that stuff again. Another thing that you can use is these little balls. You can get them at different stiffnesses, and basically you're just going to squeeze and try and activate that. You'll get a little bit of discomfort. Don't push it too hard at this stage, especially if you're only a couple of days out of your injury, but you can start to kind of feel that. You might want to squeeze it all the way in here, and this can just be that nice little thing. Okay, I'm testing it out. I'm starting to get some use out of that hand again and that finger, because you don't want that scar tissue to build up, so you can get a little bit of good motion out of that. And then also, these things, they take a second to put on, but they're by Mobilize makes this one. You can see it's called the Grip Saver Plus, and this is great just to have as maybe like a warm-up device. Like, I keep this in the car, and on my way to the crag, I'm using this thing to try and warm up. So what you can do is you'll actually open the hand, but you also can close it. And a lot of the times, as climbers, we have, our front of our forearm here is really tight, and the back is not as much. So this will actually help us kind of activate these muscles, or these tendons in the back that are running down here, and kind of relieve these from some. So this would be an antagonist exercise for those flexor tendons, but this is a good exercise just to get some range of motion going back and some blood flow to that hand. And while you're doing this, make sure that you're using or eating really well and getting a lot of good vitamins and minerals. I said this before, collagen peptides, they seem to be good. They've done some studies in like Achilles tendons, I believe, some other stuff with mice. But, you know, hey, if you really want the best for yourself, it's probably worth getting one of those. Fair notice though, a lot of climbers out there are vegan. That is not vegan. It's basically derived from bone broth. So if you don't have that, just make sure you're getting lots of good protein. You know, also doing a whey supplement is really good. Or like I said, a pea or rice protein is also really good. Just to give your body the ability to heal itself. So being healthy, don't go and eat crap, because that's not going to help you get better no matter what you do. So basically this is the phase where you're trying to get mobility, but you're not climbing yet. Do not climb. It still holds true that this is going to be your best friend. Not really though, because watching TV isn't going to help you either. But just if you have to watch TV to not go climb, do that. Better yet, go on a run, go on a bike ride, do some sit-ups, like do some squats, anything to get your body going. Just do not grab a climbing hold. You know, we're talking minimum 2 weeks, you're not climbing, right? And it can be up to 4. So just be very diligent right now. Use these things all the time. Another great thing is a rice bucket. If you guys have a rice bucket, that's a wonderful device to use to try to get that those tendons flowing and get that good blood going to those tendons, because it's a little complicated, and I'm not much of a biology guy, or you know, a physiology guy, but tendons do not have blood vessels going to them. They basically have some kind of capillary thing going on, and you can find more details of that with someone that's a medical professional. But essentially, you have to work the tendon to get blood going to them, and that's what these devices are doing. So I hope this helps out. In the next video, we're going to be going over getting back into climbing and also doing some functional remodeling, which is a really cool thing, and that's kind of the meat and potatoes of this whole entire thing. So, but before then, don't climb for 2 weeks, and I'll see you then.